Fragment rushing in T17 maps. This farm is very lucrative, as in you will get a lot of consistent drops, and I average around 1.5 divine fragments quite often. This farm we will be rushing to kill the boss. Now the faster we go, the more we will make, as this is a boss rushing strategy, and skip all the normal mobs, so just keep track of the layout and make sure you see all the patterns to get to the boss faster. This is a back to basic strategy, and it will require a strong build that can kill T17 back to basic bosses easily. You don't need to be uber tanky, as long as your build can kill the boss before it kills you, and before you lose too many portals, it will be good enough. So the builds I recommend are things like Splitting Steel Trickster, or Cast on Critical Detonate Dead, or any other meta builds that could do back to basic T17s. For our investments, I firstly want to say that you want to get the Abomination maps. Now these maps are around 60 chaos right now. It's going to be easier to get them at 70 if you bulk buy them. The other thing I want to talk about is, depending on your build, you will be using a lot of chaos orbs to roll them. My build is a mine build. I am using locust mines for power siphon, so I can run pretty much a lot of maps, and there's only a few, like around 3 to 4 maps that I can't run. The other thing I want to talk about is the sacrifice fragments. Since it's back to basics, we can't use scarabs, so these are really good. Now these give us 5% quant each, so we can put them in our maps for some more quant. So the reason we want high quant, especially with sacrifice fragments, is that increase our odds of grabbing or having the boss drop 3 fragments. Now back to basics, it'll probably drop a lot of 1s, but with the strategy we'll see lots of 2s and lots of 3s dropping. I did get 3 drop of the most expensive one, so there is that. For map mods, obviously it's entirely up to your build. Things I would avoid if your build is slightly on the less damage side are increased monster life, or monster life as an extra energy shield, or even any damage mods that you cannot run. Now I want to speak to the Atlas tree. So it's the boss rushing Atlas tree, and the main things I want to talk about is firstly grabbing back to basics. Since we're doing back to basics, we're not taking any shrines or anything that can help us, like delve or any other shrines down here, and we want to grab scarabs, so we can get a lot of scarabs dropping, especially with the unique monsters. So it's pretty much all the scarabs will be dropping from the unique monsters or any mobs we accidentally kill. So we want to make sure it's remarkable relics and chittering champions. Other than that, we are taking all the explicit modifiers, so we're going to stack even more quant in a map. I'm also blocking any scarabs that I don't want to see, like for example any of the cheaper scarabs like Abyss or Breaches, Expeditions. I am keeping Harvest on for the Harvest Life Force gets doubled, and for Ritual, the Domination Ritual Scarab. And lastly, the League Mechanics. I'm taking League Mechanics stuff because those are really nice to see, and I can pretty much just turn my brain off and only select the chance to craft additional. The Oriflame ones, there are some good ones as well to sell, so I recommend keeping that on. Other than that, that's our tree, taking lots of quant. We're taking extra quants in the middle. We are going up here to grab all the small explicit modifiers and taking more scarab. That should be all. If there's anything I missed, let me know. This should be in the description below. And if I have missed something, I will update it in the description. Now for our profits, the most exciting part, and I have done a sample of 50 maps, 50 abomination maps. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff that I don't really want to, like a lot of cheap stuff. I've kept the currency. Obviously have a really strict loot filter, so here's that. We did get some decent uniques like Soul Taker and this Quiver. Scarabs, 4 divines worth of scarabs, and a ton of fragments. Now, since we're doing Abomination, this is what we get. And with Abomination, the only maps you really want to run is Abomination and Ziggurat. But I recommend just doing Abomination. Ziggurat is it takes a much longer time. And as you can see, it's fully weighted towards the reality fragments, which are the most expensive fragments at the moment. We do get less devouring, but we do get a lot of synthesis as well. So when we move to the spreadsheet, as you can see, I've ran 50 maps, made total 7,952. I've invested 4,000, and I profited 3,952. Now, this strat is very, very focused on the faster you can run, the more you'll make. I've ran it at 2 minutes. Now, pricing it at 2 minutes a map is 31 divs. One of my guild mates, he takes 40 seconds to run the whole map as well as the boss, and he's making something around 55 divines an hour in profit. So total 63 divines an hour, profit 31 divines. As you see, I've just listed the fragments and the scarabs. You'll get a lot of divines. I've got tons of divine drops. I've got tons of other stuff like cards. I'm not factoring any of that in, just the fragments and the scarabs. As you can see, it's a very nice strategy, and it can get frustrating if your build does die a lot, but other than that, it's really good. I recommend avoiding all mobs and heading straight to the boss, and you can avoid the mobs by using your movement skill. For example, I use shield charge and I go through packs until I find the boss. And I do recommend, like, over time learning the layout of the map, so it'll make you go much quicker. But yeah, thank you for watching. This is going to be one of my last, if not the last video of the league. I think I've done everything I wanted to do. Thank you guys for watching this season, and I appreciate all of you. But again, like, comment and do whatever. It's been my pleasure.